Hello my dear students, welcome to physics classes by Setu. So today's our topic, that is a very small topic and very important topic, that is liquefaction of helium, or also it is called regenerative cooling, and also we call use of Joule-Thomson effect in the liquefaction of helium. Yeah. So these are the three names of this topic. So we know that for liquefying any gas, if we want to liquefy any gas, its temperature must be less than critical temperature. So for liquefying, temperature must be less than that is the critical temperature, that is Tc, or we can say the production of low temperature. So this is an essential step in the liquefaction of the gases. So we know that, for example, if we have a neon gas, its critical temperature is 44.5, and this is triple point, that is 24.5, that is in kelvins, and this inversion temperature, that is 230 Kelvin. So one of the there are so many methods for this, for obtaining low temperature. So one of the most powerful methods of obtaining the low temperature is to let a liquefied gas boil under reduced temperature. So when we boiled under reduced temperature, so by this method, by boiling under reduced temperature, by this method it is possible to go down to a triple point temperature. But even this method does not succeed when we wish to cool neon to less than its critical temperature. We want to cool neon to less than critical temperature, that is 44.5 Kelvin. So if we use liquid nitrogen, for cooling this neon gas, for cooling the neon, we can go to a temperature at just 63.3 Kelvin here. So we can cool it up to this temperature if we use nitrogen, but this temperature is still higher than this critical temperature, that is 44.5 Kelvin here. So here we use Joule-Thomson effect, and we can cool this neon gas by this method, provided its initial temperature is less than 230 Kelvin. So this temperature is quite easy to obtain, so by a method known as regenerative cooling, and so it is possible to go on cooling a gas by Joule-Thomson effect till the gas becomes cold to be liquefied. So neon was liquefied in this way. Now the same is in the case of helium. If we want to cool a helium gas here, because helium has a critical temperature, that is 5.3, and triple point dash, and 43 is inversion temperature. Now if want to cool this still lower temperature using Joule-Thomson effect, this is called regenerative cooling and also called liquefaction of helium. So the main drawback of Joule-Thomson process is that it produces small cooling in most of the gases. So this drawback of Joule-Thomson effect, what is the drawback of Joule-Thomson effect? That it produces small cooling in most of the gases. So this drawback has been removed by a process known as regenerative cooling. So with the help of this, that drawback has been removed. This process, regenerative cooling, this process consists of cooling the incoming gas, the gas which is incoming, that can be cooled by a portion of gas which has already been cooled by Joule-Thomson expansion. So in this method, what we do in regenerative method of cooling, that this process consists of cooling the incoming gas, cooling the incoming gas by a portion of gas, by another gas or portion of another gas which has already been cooled, by which method? By Joule-Thomson method, by Joule Thomson method. So this is called regenerative cooling. Expansion, you can say Joule-Thomson expansion. Clear ji? Joule-Thomson expansion. So this is called regenerative cooling, and this cooling effect is made cumulative and by maintaining a continuous cycle of such operations. So initial temperature of the gas can be lowered down. So this is known as lower down the temperature, this whole process. Clear ji? So go to this diagram, that is liquefaction of helium atom, and owns use the regenerative Joule-Thomson cooling to liquefy helium gas. To liquefy helium gas, he used Joule-Thomson cooling. Joule-Thomson cooling to liquefy helium gas. This is the experimental setup. This apparatus is used by the Ohms, and its principle which is used in this method can be easily understood by this diagram. So the compressed helium, this is the compressed helium gas is allowed to pass through a spiral, first spiral S1, this is S1, spiral S1, then spiral S2, then spiral S3. Clear ji? Compressed helium gas. The spiral S2 is allowed this S2, this is immersed in a liquid nitrogen. This is immersed in a liquid nitrogen boiling under reduced pressure. This is boiling under reduced pressure. So this is a nitrogen gas. Clear ji? After passing through the spiral S2, here the temperature of the helium gas is reduced less than 17 kg. Reduced less than after passing through S2. After when it passed through S2, at here its temperature is reduced less than 17 Kelvin. Less than 17 Kelvin. The helium suffers Joule-Thomson cooling due to expansion at the throttling vessel. So here it you can say which process is going on? Cooling. Which cooling? Joule-Thomson cooling. So helium suffers Joule-Thomson cooling due to expansion at the throttling valve V. This V. This is V. Beta, this is V. Here it suffers a Joule-Thomson cooling due to expansion at this at throttling valve. This is valve V. Clear ji? This cooled helium then circulate around spiral S3 and S1. This helium then circulate around these spirals, and this in turn cools down the incoming gas still further. Clear? This further reduces the incoming gas. This type of cooling is called regenerative cooling. This is called regenerative cooling. I am repeating again. Here gas comes and it passes through S1, S2, S3. Clear? After passing through S3, the helium is reduced less than 17 Kelvin. It suffers the Joule-Thomson cooling due to expansion at the throttling valve V. This cooled helium then circulate around spiral S3 and S1. Then it cools down the incoming gas, incoming gas still further. So this type of cooling is called regenerative cooling. Again, this cooled helium is set to the compressor. This is sent to the compressor, which then send the helium to pass through spiral S1, S2 and S3. This process continued till the helium gas ultimately liquefy. Process again going on, still the helium gas ultimately liquefied, and the liquid helium is collected at the bottom of this Dewar. This flask is called Dewar flask. Clear? Which is just like the thermos flask. This is just like the thermos flask. So in this way the helium gas is liquefied. Clear? So this provides the best possible method to cool the helium. Clear? And the Dewar's vessel like our ordinary thermos flask, this provide the best insulation against heat entering from outside and thus minimize the evaporation of liquid helium. So this is all about the liquefaction of helium. Thank you.